Since the dawn of civilization, the night sky has been both a source of inspiration and trepidation for humanity. Celestial phenomena such as solar eclipses, blood moons, and meteor showers are not merely scientific events, but are imbued with profound spiritual significance. In many ancient cultures, they were regarded as divine messages, omens foretelling the rise and fall of kingdoms, or signs of divine retribution. The Babylonians viewed solar eclipses as warnings from the gods, while the Maya used astronomical calendars to predict destiny. In Christianity, the Bible repeatedly references celestial disturbances as harbingers of the day of judgment. The book of Joel 2:31 declares, "The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood, before the great and terrible day of the Lord." History records numerous astronomical events coinciding with pivotal moments, reinforcing humanity's belief in a cosmic connection. In 33 AD, a blood moon occurred during the crucifixion of Jesus, seen by many believers as the fulfillment of prophecy. In the 5th century, a total solar eclipse preceded the collapse of the Roman Empire, solidifying the notion of heavenly signs. More recently, the 1919 solar eclipse coincided with the end of World War I, sparking speculation about astronomy's role in historical turning points. In Christianity, these phenomena are often linked to apocalyptic visions and the end times. Revelation 6:12 describes, "The sun became black as sackcloth, and the moon became as blood." These verses form the foundation of the belief that celestial chaos precedes Christ's return and the final judgment. Though modern science explains eclipses and blood moons through optical laws and orbital mechanics, many faithful still view them as reminders of divine power and human fragility. Thus, whether through a religious or historical lens, the sky remains a mirror reflecting humanity's beliefs, fears, and relentless quest to decipher the universe's mysteries. In Christianity, celestial phenomena such as solar eclipses and blood moons are not just natural wonders, but are also seen as signs in the heavens, heralding pivotal moments in God's divine plan. The Bible repeatedly emphasizes the connection between celestial disturbances and the final event of human history, the day of judgment. In Joel 2:31, the prophet declares, "The sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood before the great and terrible day of the Lord." This verse is echoed in the New Testament, Acts 2:20, reinforcing the belief that these phenomena are beacons, signaling the return of Jesus Christ. Revelation 6:12 provides even more vivid imagery. "The sun became black as sackcloth of hair, the moon like blood, and the stars of heaven fell to the earth." This scene is tied to the opening of the sixth seal, the beginning of the final tribulations. Many theologians argue this is not mere metaphor, but a prophecy of physical events, marking the end of the current age. Jesus himself warned in Matthew 24:29, "The sun will be darkened, the moon will not give its light, and the stars will fall from the sky." A caution about the chaos following the Great Tribulation. For prophecy believers, the partial solar eclipse on March 29th, 2025, holds special significance. It follows the total solar eclipse of April 8th, 2024, which stirred widespread attention as its path formed an X over North America, interpreted by some as a cross-shaped sign. The consecutive eclipses amid global crises like war, pandemics, and climate change lead many faithful to view them as fulfillments of prophecy. They note the Bible's symbolic use of the number two, e.g., the two witnesses in Revelation 11, and suggest the 2025 eclipse may be a second sign confirming the 2024 event. However, the scientific community refutes this interpretation. They emphasize that eclipses are predictable natural phenomena, calculable through astronomy. For example, the Saros cycle, approximately 18 years, allows researchers to forecast eclipses centuries in advance. The 2025 eclipse belongs to Saros, Series 149, documented since 1664. Yet, prophecy adherents argue that the timing, coinciding with global turmoil, is what matters. They ask, why do eclipses align with crises, as if the universe itself echoes ancient prophecies? Another contentious factor is the Jewish calendar. In 2025, the eclipse occurs on 28th Adar II in the Hebrew calendar, close to Passover, the festival commemorating Israel's liberation from Egypt. Many scholars believe Christ will return during Passover, and this alignment leads some to view the eclipse as a cosmic clock, tolling the final chapter of history. While science and faith offer differing explanations, both acknowledge one truth. Astronomy reflects humanity's unyielding quest to understand the universe, the meaning of existence, and mysteries beyond our control. Whether seen as divine signals or celestial mechanics, these phenomena remind us of our humble place in a vast, enigmatic cosmos.
The partial solar eclipse on March 29th, 2025 has drawn significant attention from both scientific and religious communities. For prophecy watchers, this is not merely an astronomical event, but potentially a piece in the larger biblical narrative of the end times. Occurring nearly a year after the total solar eclipse of April 8th, 2024, whose path formed a cross-like shape over North America, evoking Christian symbolism, many believe these back-to-back eclipses create a dual sign, reinforcing the message of Christ's return, akin to the Bible's use of the number two to confirm truth, e.g., the two witnesses in Revelation 11:3. Prophecy advocates highlight the timing of the 2025 eclipse, coinciding with unprecedented global upheavals, escalating Russia-Ukraine conflicts, climate-driven disasters, and societal moral decline. They link these to Matthew 24:7-8. Nation will rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom. There will be famines and earthquakes in various places. All these are the beginning of birth pains. The eclipse's occurrence amid mounting birth pains leads many to view it as a final warning before the Great Tribulation begins. However, astronomers refute this interpretation. They explain that eclipses are entirely natural phenomena, predictable through cycles like Saros. The 2025 eclipse belongs to Saros Series 149, tracked since the 17th century and calculated through the year 3000. According to NASA, this partial eclipse will be visible over the North Atlantic, Greenland, and parts of Europe. Regions unrelated to prophetic hotspots like Israel or North America. Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson, the renowned astrophysicist, asserts, eclipses are not omens. They're testaments to the marvel of mathematics and natural law. Yet prophecy believers argue that the timing coincidence is key. They ask, why does the 2025 eclipse follow COVID-19, Middle Eastern conflicts, and global food crises, events the Bible calls end-time signs? Additionally, its timing on 28th Adar II in the Hebrew calendar, near Passover, which commemorates Israel's liberation from Egypt, fuels speculation. Many scholars believe Christ will return during Passover, adding theological weight to this alignment. Amid the debate, some theologians propose a balanced approach. Pastor John Hagee, author of Four Blood Moons, states, "Astronomy is God's language, but we need wisdom to interpret it. Eclipses remind us of the Creator's power, not tools to spread fear." Meanwhile, the scientific community urges people to avoid over-interpretation and instead view eclipses as opportunities to marvel at cosmic beauty. Regardless of stance, one truth remains undeniable. The 2025 eclipse will reignite debates on faith versus reason. While prophets see it as a heavenly clock, scientists regard it as a humbling reminder of humanity's smallness in a vast universe. Both perspectives reflect a shared truth. Astronomy bridges the tangible world and eternal mysteries, uniting curiosity and wonder across divides. The partial solar eclipse on March 29, 2025, occurring in the Hebrew month of Adar II, has captured the attention of biblical scholars. In Jewish tradition, Adar II is a leap month added to synchronize the lunar calendar with agricultural seasons, a mechanism ensuring alignment between religious observances and natural cycles. Notably, this eclipse falls just days before Passover, the festival commemorating the Israelites' liberation from Egypt, which also marks the Last Supper of Jesus in the New Testament. This alignment has sparked speculation about the link between astronomy and prophecy. Exodus 12:14 refers to Passover as a lasting ordinance, and many theologians believe it will play a pivotal role in end-time events. Professor Jonathan Kahn, author of The Harbinger, asserts the Hebrew calendar is key to understanding God's plan. When celestial events align with sacred festivals, it's time to listen. He notes that the 2025 eclipse falls on 28 Adar II, a date Jewish tradition associates with the restoration of blessings after calamities. Some scholars further connect the 2025 eclipse to Rosh Hashanah, the Feast of Trumpets, and Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, the holiest days in Judaism. Citing Revelation 8:7-12, which describes 7 angels sounding trumpets to herald disasters, they suggest the eclipse could signal the start of these tribulations. Astronomers, however, counter that the Jewish calendar's lunar basis makes such overlaps mathematically coincidental. Despite this, prophecy advocates emphasize the symbolic resonance of the timing. They liken the Hebrew calendar to God's sacred clock, with the 2025 eclipse tolling a critical hour. This view draws from Genesis 1:14. Let there be lights in the vault of the sky to mark sacred times and days and years. If astronomy is God's timekeeping tool, the eclipse's proximity to Passover might signify a new liberation for humanity or a warning of impending tribulation. Amid debates, one truth unites. The Jewish calendar and astronomy remain intertwined in humanity's spiritual journey. Whether the 2025 eclipse is a divine message or mere cosmic choreography, it underscores the eternal bond between heaven and earth, where faith and knowledge coexist as dual facets of a mysterious universe. The Bible describes numerous signs heralding the end times, with celestial phenomena being just one piece of a larger prophetic mosaic. Events such as wars, natural disasters, the rise of the Antichrist, and the Great Tribulation are viewed as critical components of the eschatological timeline. 1. Wars and chaos. Jesus warned in Matthew 24:6 through 7. You will hear of wars and rumors of wars. Nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. Recent conflicts, such as the Russia-Ukraine war, Middle Eastern tensions, and US-China rivalry, are seen by some as fulfillments of this prophecy. Historian Timothy Alberino observes, the world is in a state of all-encompassing warfare, military, economic, technological, exactly as Scripture foretold. The emergence of the Antichrist. According to 2 Thessalonians 2:3-4, the Antichrist will arise before the end times, masquerading as a savior while opposing God. Scholars believe this figure will seize global power through a political religious system. The rise of technologies like AI, digital currency, and mass surveillance fuels concerns that these tools could enable the Antichrist's dominion. Third, unprecedented disasters. Revelation 6:12-14 depicts catastrophic events, violent earthquakes, a darkened sun, and erupting volcanoes. Recent disasters, such as the 2023 Turkey-Syria earthquake, Canada's wildfires, and historic floods in Pakistan, are interpreted as the beginning of the Great Tribulation. Dr. Michael Snyder, author of The Beginning of the End, emphasizes the frequency and intensity of disasters are escalating exponentially, a clear sign of a world in imbalance. 4. The Great Tribulation. Matthew 24:21 cautions, there will be great distress, unequaled from the beginning of the world. Many believers anticipate a 7-year period marked by famine, plagues, and persecution of Christians. The COVID-19 pandemic is viewed by some as a soft launch of this era, exposing global systemic fragility and societal instability. 5. The return of Jesus Christ. The ultimate sign is Christ's glorious return, described in Matthew 24:30. All peoples will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds with power and great glory. This event is believed to end suffering and inaugurate his millennial kingdom. Conclusion. These signs are interconnected, forming a prophetic chain. The 2025 solar eclipse, in this context, may serve as a flashing beacon, urging humanity to heed biblical warnings. While science attributes disasters and wars to natural and social causes, many believers see them as part of God's grand design. The pressing question remains, will humanity awaken to these signs, or be consumed by chaos, ignoring divine and natural warnings?
From a scientific perspective, solar eclipses are natural phenomena explained by cosmic laws. Astronomers rely on the Saros cycle, approximately 18 years, to predict eclipses centuries in advance. The partial solar eclipse on March 29, 2025, belongs to Saros Series 149, documented since 1664, a testament to the solar system's orderly mechanics. Dr. Carolyn Brinkworth, an astrophysicist, affirms eclipses are not miracles. They're flawless demonstrations of mathematics and physics. However, for many believers, eclipses transcend the natural realm. The Bible repeatedly references signs in the heavens as divine messages. Joel 2:31 and Revelation 6:12 describe the sun turning dark and the moon blood red, images believed to foreshadow the end times. Some prophecy scholars argue, if God created the cosmos, he can surely use it to send signals. They note, the 2025 eclipse coincides with prophetic-like global events, the Russia-Ukraine conflict, extreme weather, and the rise of globalized technology, factors seen as precursors to the Antichrist's emergence. The alignment of the 2025 eclipse with Passover on the Jewish calendar adds symbolic weight. Passover commemorates Israel's liberation from Egypt, and many scholars believe Christ will return during this festival. Professor Jonathan Kahn remarks, astronomy and the Hebrew calendar are two faces of a sacred clock. When they align, pay attention. Yet scientists counter, imposing spiritual meaning on predictable events is naive. They compare this to attributing tropical storms to sea god's wrath, an outdated mindset in the age of radar and satellites. Between these views, many adopt a balanced approach. Eclipses are both scientific marvels and reminders of humanity's cosmic smallness. Reverend Billy Graham once said, eclipses teach two truths: the Creator's grandeur and humankind's need for humility. Whether seen as prophetic or natural, the 2025 eclipse invites humanity to gaze upward, not only to marvel at the universe's beauty, but to ponder, are we prepared for any future, whether divinely ordained or random?
The question, is the 2025 solar eclipse a prophetic sign or a natural phenomenon, remains unanswered, yet it continues to ignite heated debates. For the Christian community, this event echoes Jesus' words in Mark 13:33. Be on guard, be alert. You do not know when that time will come. Regardless of interpretation, the eclipse stands as a testament to the Creator's greatness, a universe governed by precise laws, yet harboring mysteries beyond human grasp. In the modern world, humanity faces two choices: viewing astronomy as a divine message to decode, or embracing it as a spectacular scientific spectacle. Whichever perspective one adopts, this event underscores a universal truth. Humans are but tiny specks in a vast cosmos. As philosopher Blaise Pascal wrote, the grandeur of the universe deepens faith in the Creator while teaching us humility. The ultimate message is one of preparation. Whether the eclipse is an omen or not, living vigilantly, nurturing faith, and spreading love remain the best ways to face the future. As Pastor David Jeremiah urged, instead of fearing the apocalypse, live so that each day matters, for that is how we truly prepare. In our quest for meaning, the answer may lie not in debating right or wrong, but in how we confront the unknown with hopeful eyes and an open heart.